America is on edge right now. Just a few days ago, Charlie Kirk, a well-known conservative activist, was shot dead while speaking at the Utah Valley University. His death has sparked grief, anger, and a whole lot of division. And here's the thing, America was already split down the middle before this happened. You've got millions standing firmly behind President Trump, and you've got millions who are just as firmly against him, throwing conspiracy theories, misinformation, and online battles, and you've got a country that looks like it could tip into something bigger. So the question is the US Army on the brink of civil war? Let's break this down. The US has been divided for years, but right now that split seems deeper than ever. Polls show that actually 4 in 10 Americans actually believe a civil war could happen in the next decade. That's not just a few people, that's a huge chunk of the country. And when Charlie Kirk was assassinated, the internet exploded. So many people are blaming the left. Others are saying it's staged. And within hours, fake stories were everywhere. You had AI generated images, false confessions, wild theories. Even foreign actors are piling in, using misinformation to push America further apart. And this just shows how fragile trust is. If people can't agree on what is actually true, how can they actually agree on how to move forward? Now, here is where the army comes in. The military in America has always been built on one key principle. It stays out of politics. Soldiers swear an oath to the Constitution, not to the president, not to the party. And so far, that line has held. There is no sign that the US Army is secretly trying to pick a side. But there are pressure points. If you have politicians trying to drag the army into domestic issues, such as protests and immigration crackdowns, if service members get split along party lines, or if you have a massive crisis, like a disputed election, and people stop recognising the government's authority, that's where things get dangerous. But before we continue, if you want to stay sharper, stay fueled, and keep pushing through whatever challenge is thrown at you, then grab a bag of one of our coffee blends. It's battle-tested coffee for those that never want to be beaten. Now let's get back into it. Let's be real, when we say civil war, most people think armies fighting in the streets. But today, it wouldn't look like it would in the 1860s. It would be more protests turning violent, militias showing up armed, and maybe even more political assassinations. The experts are saying that is more likely than a full-on war. And right now, America has the ingredients for that middle ground. Extreme rhetoric, militia groups, localised violence. But for a true civil war, you need the army or big state governments breaking away. And there's no sign of that yet. Charlie Kirk's death could be one of those moments that stick. For all of his supporters, it feels like proof that speech is under attack. For his critics, it shows how violent culture has become. But either way, it feeds that idea that America is tearing itself apart. The real danger is how misinformation spreads so quickly. People just don't disagree on the meaning of his death. They don't even agree on basic facts. And that distrust is what fuels instability. So what happens next? We've got 3 paths. Your best case, tensions cool, leaders call for calm, and the army just stays well out of politics. Your middle ground, we have more shootings, more violent protests, more militia activity, but still below that civil war. Your worst case, the army gets dragged in, politicians misuse power, and parts of the country refuse to follow federal authority. That is when the real nightmare begins. So, is the US Army on the brink of civil war? Right now, no. The army is holding the line. But America is in a dangerous place, and Charlie Kirk's death, as sad as it is a reminder of how fragile things have become. If this spiral of mistrust, division and violence keeps going, the risk only grows. But for now, the red line hasn't been crossed. Stay sharp, stay aware, never be beaten, and rest in peace, Charlie Kirk.